Good morning. It's exciting for me to be here. I have to say, before I start reading this speech, that Jules and I have connected about the summit quite a few months ago, and we discussed what we could talk about and what aspects of innovation in Israel might be relevant. And because when we talk about Israel and innovation, there's so much that can be said and so many examples that can be given and so many things to learn from. And I was thinking, I tried to prepare myself the past few months for this speech, for this event, what I would talk about, would it be cyber, would it be AI, would it be just how the history of Israel got to be the startup nation. And I rewrote the speeches a few times, and then I found myself at the beginning of this week in a completely different situation, a situation that I was too scared to even hope for, and in such a happy way, in a feeling of a new beginning. And I felt that I had to sort of rewrite everything, because I think that history is changing before our eyes. I think it's true for the world as a whole, but especially the past few days in Israel. So I'll now read the speech that I wrote, because I think it's emotional for me. It's been an emotional week for me, and there's so many things I want to say that I don't want to miss anything. So I usually don't like to read from paper, but I think in this occasion, due to the things that we've seen happen and the things that await us, I think I don't want to miss anything. So I apologize for reading, but I urge you to listen, because it's really coming from the depth of my heart, from Israel's depths of the heart, and there's a strong message here that I at least feel very emotional about. So good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to stand here today among leaders, innovators, and visionaries who believe, as I do, that innovation is not only about technology, it's about spirit. It's about the human capacity to rebuild, to imagine, to rise again, stronger, smarter, and more united than before. And perhaps there's no better place to speak about that than from the story of Israel. The past 2 years have tested Israel in ways we've not known for decades. We faced not only a war on our borders, but also a wave of hostility and misunderstanding from parts of the world that once called us partners and friends. We watched our communities torn apart, families shattered, cities under fire, and yet through it all, Israel stood firm. This week, after 2 long years of heartbreak and uncertainty, the last of the living hostages finally returned home. An entire nation exhaled in relief, in gratitude, in grief, and in resolve. We will never forget those we lost, and will not rest until every one of them, even the fallen, is brought home. But this moment marks something deeply meaningful. Israel is beginning to heal. We're beginning to rebuild, and we will continue to innovate, because that is who we are. If you look only at the headlines, you might expect to see a nation shaken by hardship. But if you look closer at the data, at the startups, at the investors, you see something else entirely. Israel's economy remains strong. Our innovation ecosystem continues to attract global investment. Our companies in cybersecurity, AI, health tech, energy, and agriculture are still solving global problems, even under extraordinary circumstances. This isn't by chance. It's part of the DNA of the startup nation. It's what happens when resilience is built into your national character. It's what happens when survival and creativity are the same thing. Throughout the past 2 years, Israeli engineers coded from bomb shelters, entrepreneurs turned their logistic companies into volunteer networks. Farmers in the south replanted their fields under the sounds of artillery. Mothers went back to work. Students returned to universities. And the message was clear. We will carry on, because that is who we are. That is how we are, and that is how we survive. These past 2 years reminded us of the foundation of which Israel was built. When the world questioned us, sometimes misunderstood us, we were reminded of an old truth. We can only count on ourselves. That was true in 1948, and it's true today. Our founders didn't wait for permission to build a state. They didn't wait for ideal conditions for global approval. They built because existence itself demanded ingenuity. And the same spirit drives our innovation ecosystem today. Every Israeli entrepreneur knows that success isn't guaranteed. It's built, tested, and fought for. It's the same attitude that turned the desert into fertile land, and scarcity into creativity, and isolation into opportunity. Now, as the hostages are home and the guns grow quieter, Israel begins a new phase, healing and renewal. healing the visible wounds, the losses, the grief, the fear, and rebuilding what was broken. And even as we heal, Israelis continues to innovate. We see it in new mental health startups, in social impact ventures, in communities rebuilding together and finding strength through creativity. This is how we process pain, by transforming it into action, into creation, into light. We know there's still a long road ahead, but we're moving forward, every day a little stronger, every week a little more whole. And through these difficult years, one country's friendship stood out clearly and consistently: India. India has proven once again to be a true ally of Israel, in words, in spirit, in action. From the highest levels of leadership to the public at large, we felt India's empathy and solidarity and its understanding that terrorism anywhere is a threat to humanity everywhere. But our connection goes much deeper than moments of crisis. Israel and India share partnerships rooted in shared values, a belief in democracy, a passion for learning, a culture of innovation, and respect for resilience. Our cooperation runs across every field, from agriculture to water management, from defense to space, from cyber to clean energy. And at the heart of these partnerships are people, talented, creative, and determined individuals who see possibility where others see limitation. Both nations have learned to do more with less, to think outside the box, to find beauty in constraints, and to turn challenges into opportunities. Our cooperation continued even through the hardest times. And now, as Israel begins to rebuild and the world seeks renewal, there's no better moment to take this partnership to new heights. Today, I'm proud to say that 3 Israeli companies are here with us at this summit. I could stand here and tell you about countless Israeli inventors and inventions, about the drip irrigation that changed global agriculture, about the cybersecurity technologies protecting millions, about medical innovations saving lives every day. But instead, I invite you to listen to the voices of the entrepreneurs themselves. They are the living proof of what Israel's spirit innovation truly means, a spirit of resilience, creativity, and unshakable belief that the future can always be built anew. As Israel begins to heal, we remain open to the world and especially to friends like India, because resilience does not mean isolation. It means standing tall, confident enough to collaborate, to share, and to lead together. Our innovations, from climate tech to AI, from water to renewable energy, are not for us alone. They are our contribution to a better, more sustainable world. So when you ask how a small nation, after 2 years of war, can remain a global leader in innovation, the answer is simple. Because innovation for Israelis is not a luxury, it's survival. It's hope made practical, it's resilience made visible. Now that the living are home, we begin the next chapter, one of healing, rebuilding, and growth. And we'll continue to do what we have always done, turn adversity into advancement and tragedy into transformation. To those who doubted us, we invite you to watch. To those who stood with us, especially India, we thank you. And to those who build with us, let's shape a future that honors the past, celebrates resilience, and proves that even in dark hours, the light will not go out. Thank you.